exactly what we're seeing today is the personal income and outlays report was released this morning, and that has people thinking about inflation again. And it all comes down to what is the Fed going to do in September. I mean, that's where people's minds are, and so they're trying to guess what the Fed's going to do. The Fed is getting into this realm where they don't know whether to raise rates or lower rates. When you raise rates, it means you're putting the brakes on the economy. It's too hot. Prices are increasing too quickly. When you're, juicing the economy, trying to speed it up, that's what you do when, everything is slowing down. And what's happening right now is, we got a report last month that said employment was really slowing down. It was harder to find a job. It was harder to keep a job, that people are getting furloughed, people are getting fired. And then at the same time, we're also getting reports like today, everything came in as expected. In fact, I have the report right up here on my screen. So let's pull it up.
Yeah, that
Um,
that was my quick observation versus the last inflation data was that it was all in line, but the market's reacting more negatively than in the past.
well, because, where not just the Fed, the Fed published back at, 5 or 6 years ago that they really wanted to see the economy growing at 2%, maybe 2 to 3 max, right? That's not just a number that the Fed pulled out of the air. That seems to, throughout history, keep folks comfortable and at bay and not complaining. So that's really where economies are doing the best, especially mature economies like the US economy, doing best at growing about 2% a year. Well, uh, even though everything came in as expected, it's higher, right? 0.4% in income growth, 0.5% in expenditures growth. I mean, that when you multiply by 12 months, I mean, that we're talking about 6%, right? Inflation when you extrapolate that over the year. When you look at the PCE price index and the core PCE price index, that's where we take out things like groceries and fuel prices, which tend to be kind of crazy month to month. So it tries to take those out. Although I have to say, when the price of groceries goes up, you and I feel it a lot. When the price of gas goes up, you and I feel a lot. And actually, the price of gas is at all-time lows right now. Not all time, but lows in the last few years. So it's the price of groceries that seems to be up because everything came in as expected. It's just high, Sip. It's just high.